In a small, quiet village nestled in the heart of Nigeria, there lived a young boy named Chima. Often at the age of 3, Chima was raised by his grandmother, Mama Ifeoma, who was not only his caretaker but also his best friend. Their bond was unbreakable, but life wasn't easy. Mama Ifeoma had diabetes, a disease that had been slowly taking its toll on her body for years. Her strength had waned, and despite all the love she poured into Chima, her health was in constant decline. Chima was no ordinary boy. From an early age, it was clear that he possessed an extraordinary gift. His mind worked faster than any child's in the village, or even any adult's for that matter. By the age of 5, Chima was solving complex puzzles that left even the village teachers scratching their heads. By 10, he had read every book he could find, teaching himself biology, chemistry, and medicine by poring over old medical journals someone had discarded at the local market. Though Chima's brilliance was known throughout the village, few understood just how far his intellect had developed. His main motivation, however, wasn't fame or recognition, it was saving his grandmother. One fateful evening, after Mama Ifeoma had suffered another sugar-induced fainting spell, Chima knew he had to do something. Watching her grow weaker every day broke his heart. The medications she took were expensive, and they never seemed to make a lasting difference. There has to be a better way, Chima thought. Chima spent his days after school in the tiny shed behind their mud brick house, which he had turned into a makeshift lab. With salvaged glass vials, borrowed textbooks, and his unparalleled curiosity, he began studying diabetes at a molecular level. He wanted to understand how the disease worked, what caused his grandmother's blood sugar to spike, and, more importantly, how to stop it. His best friend, Amina, was the only one who knew about his secret experiments. Amina, a shy girl with dreams of becoming a doctor herself, would often sneak into the shed, bringing scraps of paper and chalk so Chima could write down his thoughts. Together, they brainstormed ideas, despite her lack of understanding of the science he spoke about. After months of research and experimentation, Chima made a groundbreaking discovery. He realized that a certain enzyme in the human pancreas could be manipulated to regulate insulin production more efficiently. His theory was revolutionary, so much so that it bordered on the impossible. But Chima was confident. Using local herbs and some chemical compounds he synthesized himself, he created a serum that he believed would trigger the necessary enzymatic reactions. Amina was worried. What if it doesn't work, Chima? What if something goes wrong? She asked one afternoon as the sun cast long shadows over the village. I have to try, Chima replied, his face set with determination. Mama can't keep suffering like this. I know this will help her. One morning, after Mama Ifeoma had barely been able to rise from bed, Chima approached her with the serum. He explained everything, how he had studied for months, how he had created a cure for her diabetes. Mama Ifeoma, though frail and weak, smiled at him, her eyes full of love and trust. My brilliant boy, she whispered, I trust you. With trembling hands, Chima administered the serum. For hours, they waited, Amina by their side, watching Mama Ifeoma closely for any sign of improvement or failure. It was a tense and emotional wait. But then, something miraculous happened. Mama Ifeoma's color returned to her cheeks, her breathing steadied, and for the first time in years, she felt strong. Her blood sugar levels, which Chima measured with an old glucometer, had stabilized. Chima had done it. He had cured her. Word spread quickly through the village, and soon, even the doctors from the nearby town heard of the young genius who had discovered a cure for diabetes. Though skeptical at first, they conducted their own tests and were stunned by the results. Chima's serum worked. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. As his discovery gained attention, Chima was approached by scientists from Lagos and beyond. His life changed overnight. Universities wanted to study with him, medical organizations wanted to support his research, and the Nigerian government offered him scholarships to further develop his genius. But through it all, Chima remained humble. In the months that followed, Chima's serum was mass-produced, saving countless lives not just in Nigeria, but around the world. Yet, despite his fame and the many accolades that came his way, Chima remained in his village with Mama Ifeoma, who now had the energy to tend to her farm and enjoy the life she once thought she would lose. Years later, Amina, inspired by Chima's brilliance, followed her own dream of becoming a doctor, with a full scholarship in tow. She knew that, in her own way, she would continue Chima's legacy of healing. And Chima, he had saved his grandmother, his hero, the one person who had never doubted him. He would always be the boy who, with his genius and love, had changed the world from his tiny shed in a small Nigerian village. Chima followed his dreams of becoming a pharmaceutical scientist. He invented more cures to ailments and saved millions of lives. But to him, the only thing that really mattered was the smile on Mama Ifeoma's face.